Welcome guys to my first YouTube video. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna walk you guys through how to create the soft smoky eye. I'm beginning with my eyebrows. The Benefit Precisely My Brow in shade 3.5. I begin by outlining the bottom of the brow and then the top of the brow to create the desired shape. And then I begin shading in very lightly, light strokes. Since this was a little bit of more glam look per se, I used the iconic Linden Sculpt and Boost eyebrow cushion to create hair-like strokes just in the beginning of the brows. And to define the brow just on the bottom section of it, I used the Tarte Shape Tape in shade Light Medium Honey. In this case, I used the same Shape Tape concealer. I just applied it, blended, and used it as the eyeshadow base. The palette I used today was a Nudie Patootie from Laura Lee Los Angeles, and I started off with the shade Butt Naked all over the crease. I kept going in with that same shade Butt Naked on the crease until I got the desired shape and depth and darkness that I needed from that shade. Then I went in with the shade Bare. These names are so clever, right? I freaking love them. And I blended out the first shade Butt Naked. I wanted a little bit more of a soft smoky eye. That's why I went in with a pinkish color. I continued blending the shade Bare onto Butt Naked to get rid of any harsh lines. And then I went in back with the shade Butt Naked to add the depth that was there that was lost by all that blending. Then for the lid, I went in with the shade Nakey Nakey. It's the darkest matte shade in the palette, and I just packed it on the lid. Then I went in with the shade Buff. This step is definitely not necessary. I just like doing it because it gives it a little bit more shine, a little bit more glam in person. I just packed it on with a flat brush onto the lid. And for the inner corner of the eye, I went with the shade Stark, just to brighten it up a little bit, open it up. I already prepped and primed my face. So for foundation, I went with one of my favorites actually is the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Wheat. Excuse all the ugly faces that I'm doing while applying, but that's the only way. Anyway, I really love this foundation because it's matte. It really is long wearing, so I use it for a lot of my clients, especially my brides, because it does stay on for a long time. Remember, just pounce all over the face, and the sponge is damp. It's not a dry sponge. Now with the same foundation I use for my face, I also use it to clean the top of my brows. The reason I don't use concealer is because I don't want it to look white on the top, like bright. I just want it cleaned out. Now for contouring, I actually used the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Deep Dark 58. I actually only contour when I'm going to go somewhere, when I want it glam, when I want a defined look. After I apply the product, I then distribute it, spread it on the desired areas of my face with the Morphe M459. And then I go in with the Luxie 532 round top blender. I actually dip into my foundation a bit and then blend the edges. Sometimes I do go back with my blender and then with no extra product, I just go and blend the edges just for a seamless look. And with the same Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, I apply it under my eyes, on my chin, my forehead between my eyebrows, and then on the bridge of my nose. And then you just blend, blend, blend until everything is gone, until you don't see any harsh lines. Yeah, it's work, ladies. So my under eyes, actually, I blend last. I blend out the rest of my face first, and then the under eye section. I just have a lot of creasing in my eyes, so I let the concealer get a little bit dry, a tiny bit, before I go in and blend. And then I go in with the brush and then blend the edges if I need to. And with my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I go in and I set the parts of my face where I put the concealer. And then to set the rest of my face, I use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Light Medium. I set my whole face prior to doing the bronzer, the blush, the highlight, because I feel it blends easily. It doesn't get sticky, or the bronzer doesn't get stuck anywhere. It's not patchy. It blends easier and seamlessly. The bronzer I used was the Anastasia Powder Bronzer in Rich Amber. So I just put it on my cheekbones, my forehead, wherever I contoured, that's where I apply it. Here I forgot to put it on my chin, my neck. Crucial, but I forgot. And then to define my nose a little bit, because I didn't want such a pinched look on my nose today, I used the Lorac Tantalizer Baked Bronzer. I think it's the shade Matte Tan, but I don't always go in with this one, but today I did because I didn't want to like a pinched look. And then for blush, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trio in Pool Party. I used all three shades. I just like the combination that it gives, the color that it gives with those three shades together. Oh my god, can you guys see all that powder flying around? I promise I'll get better at this. It's my first video. Cut me some slack. So here I went in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder again. I just created a defined, like a line under my contour to give it a defined look. It looks great in pictures. You guys should try it if you don't do it already. And then to line my waterline, I used the Inglot gel liner in black. And then I packed on the same shades that I used for the top of the eye. I used them on the bottom, the waterline. First I went in with the shade Naked Naked. Then I blended it in with Butt Naked. And then To make it seamless and nice and pretty and soft, I use that same shade Bare also on the bottom. Then with a fluffy brush, I just packed on whatever powder, dusted it off, blended the rest of my face, and that's it. Then for highlighter, I used the Laura Geller New York and the shade Gilded Honey. I actually really like this one. My friend put me onto this a few years back, and I love it ever since. And for lashes, I actually use the brand J Lash in the style Alexa. I really like this brand. They have their bands, they're thick, they're wispy, but they're still flexible and easy to work with. I really like them. Yes, I'm that girl. I use 3 products just for my lips themselves. I have small lips, guys. I have to make something work. So I use the brown, any brown lip liner. Just line my lips. I overline them just a tad bit, not too much this time. Then I went in with the Morphe lip liner and Backseat Love to blend that brown so I won't look so much like a chola, you know, like back in the days. And then just blend till it's still there but not so much. And then I used a tiny brush to finish blending it out a little bit, to merge them together. And then to fill in my lips, I use one of my favorite lipsticks from MAC in the shade Yash. I love it. It's pink, it's nude, it's pretty. Then I blend it in again. You know, lots of blending, keyword in this video. And you know, since we're going with that semi-glam look, I had to top it off with the MAC lip gloss in the shade Very Go Lightly. You know, and last but not least, never forget to use a setting spray. I use the Urban Decay All Nighter, and then I just dried it off a little faster with my little mini fan. And that's it, guys. That's my first YouTube video. I hope you guys liked it. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna do many more, especially because we're in quarantine. So hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up, please. Thank you so much. See you soon.